Since the Yankee come to Trinidad, they got all the young girls going mad. Young girls say they treat them nice, make Trinidad like paradise. Drink rum and Coca-Cola, go down Point Cumana, both mother and daughter, looking for the Yankee dollar.
Pieguy, it's week 4 in the ugly CFL football world. It's the start of the episode. It's another rant-filled episode. Last week we had some interesting football games, some good, some ugly. Obviously the Twitter world has been on fire with our good buddy, former Seahawk, kicking ass as a coach in Southwestern Ontario right now. TSN Friday analyst. I don't need to name him, but you know it. He's been around. He's been sharing some certain insights. Yes, right, wrong, it doesn't matter. I think what he's done at least is bring narrative to the game. Narrative that hasn't been talked about in a while. I agree in the sense
I
that
think it's hogwash. I think it's all hogwash.
I mean, some of it makes sense. Like, listen, I don't think the game is as awful as he may sometimes paint a picture with. I agree with the sense that it's 4 games that get shown across the league every weekend. So yes, you're going to find some ugly games like the penalty-ridden game between Toronto, Saskatchewan, which ended in a kind of a highlight.
But it was a fun game. I had family over who don't watch CFL regularly, and he was enjoying the game. My uncle, so I thought the game was fun. Okay, maybe we weren't paying the most attention because you had family over chatting a little bit, but I mean they had the kick return touchdown and they cashed the best bet. It probably should have been easier. We'll talk about Saskatchewan later, but this idea. Okay, there was a low block on one of the Argo line, one of the Argo D linemen, I think. Yeah. And after that, the defense didn't like that. They took a shot at Trevor Harris, and it was just all penalty. The rest lost control. Yeah, it was horrid.
But I mean,
I don't know
the product, right?
These comments. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say this comes with the product. It's just there's gonna be some games that get over scrutinized. They're overanalyzed to an extent. I mean, how many games in the NFL are nothing burgers, and because you have another 10 or 12 that you can kind of just put ahead of that one, you just don't care about it. You just how many people were yelling last year how bad the Jags were and how shitty the games were? No one. Why? Because everyone was looking at other games. Everyone was complaining.
Yeah, they were buried.
KC wins another ugly one. KC wins another ugly one. Right? Like these games are buried.
Yeah, but they were buried at 1:00 with the 10 other games.
Exactly.
The CFL doesn't have the luxury to do that. But I don't know. I thought the comments were ridiculous, unnecessary. And then I heard people saying, "Oh well, when people are talking about it, nobody's talking about it outside of the CFL universe." I told a couple of people who don't regularly follow the CFL news cycle, they had no idea about this, and all they did was pile on more. Oh, I only watch NFL. This guy. Yeah. It's just we don't need that. It's ridiculous. It was a good game. Went right down to the wire. The last 10 seconds kick return, and then we have this guy cry. I know there's this thing out there. He's a troll. It's a show. It's a joke. But some of the things that he was complaining about are things that people actually do complain about. Like the Rouge and the missed field goal point. And maybe we can adjust that a little bit.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. There were some good points. But a lot of it is just wah. It's not the NFL. That's what it was for me. And we don't need that. You know what I mean? This isn't the NFL. This is the CFL.
Different
We
sport.
see Rouge victories. We see kick returns. The NFL kick return sucks right now. The last year's kick return is awful. They punt. It's a fair catch with 90% of the time. Like no wonder. Okay, you have 11 games on to flip between. Sure. But we still get these the Thursday night games, Bengals Steelers, with 15-10
I mean,
nonsense.
they get the pivot them nowadays, but yeah,
Yeah,
some games you'd have to struggle through it just because the fan
Well,
base exists.
that 6-3 Seahawks Bears game I had to watch. It was the worst game I've ever seen. You know what I mean?
Terrible. It
Like
was
you telling
bad.
me that Argos Riders game wasn't like 100 times better than that piece of garbage last year. Oh, I hated that game so much.
Yeah, that was a bad one. But hey, man, at the end of the day, the Riders came through and cashed that best bet for us. I
Yep.
was live. I was texting you. I was like, here we go. Argos just tied it. We're taking our first L on the season. And sure enough, Argos throw out 11 guys and Super Mario takes the run. I know a lot of Argo fans were like, oh, why didn't you squib it and try to play it short and stuff. But listen, just make the tackle. That's all you had to do. Just make the tackle. You didn't make the tackle. You got punished for it. Even if you squibbed it, they would have been in field goal range. They would have won the game even with 9 seconds left. Didn't matter. And then they still
Or you
Hail Mary
try
in
to
there.
drop kick it through the end
Yeah.
zone or something.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
One.
that's right. Take the one. You got the kickers on that team, definitely. Anyways, we have more on Dinwiddie's rant after, but let's start this week because it's
Well,
it's an
one
interesting
more
week.
thing
Yeah,
I
go
wanted
ahead.
to get to before we get to this week. We went 2-2, and okay, I was wrong on the Elks. They were no good. But the other game that we lost, the weather. I gotta be more vigilant on checking the weather. So this week we're gonna talk about the weather in each game. And the first game is looking like a beautiful night in oh, sorry, I had Edmonton up. Okay, well I have to check it again.
Well,
But
no, we're Winnipeg,
for some
my
reason
friend.
I thought Edmonton was the home team, but I think it's a beautiful night in Winnipeg too.
It is. It is not. It's not anticipated to be a terrible weather game. This one will be well attended as well. I believe they are heading towards another sellout. They were roughly 1,000-ish tickets away. This is a fan base that's hungry. This is a fan base that is hosting the Grey Cup. This is a fan base that, despite all the preseason banter about whether this team is going to not be a shell of what they were, the banter about the whole Calaro suspension and Reveler's coming in, BC is going to kick his ass, blah blah blah. This team looks good. This team might be the best in the West. I mean, based on that last game with Saskatchewan and Toronto, I don't really see a better team in the West. Aside from Winnipeg, they manhandled BC 2-0. No problem. Didn't sweat it. Claros looked like he didn't miss a beat. Now, granted, BC had the injury to Rourke first game and then had to deal with Masoli the whole home game. But still, you're home. You still struggled out the gate, and Winnipeg came to show. They're proving that Brady or no Brady, they can still play a full game. They looked great. They don't look too damaged either. Edmonton, on the other hand, okay, I know it's only game 2, but are we going to be like 5-7 games into the season before we can really put the pin and say Edmonton ain't great? They had 14,000 people for the home opener. If that's tickets sold, if they showed up, I don't know.
It looks bad.
And I know they're shoving the whole double E. I mean, they pretty much frankly killed the Elks in stadium. There is no mention of the Elks. Fuck it. It doesn't matter what you call this Edmonton team. Right now, what Edmonton needs to do to get fans back is to win. Period.
No, what Edmonton needs to do is to figure out who the fuck they are. Because on the field and off the field, they don't know who they are. Are they the double E's? Are the Eskimos? Are they the Elks? Are they a running team? Are they a special teams? Are they a throwing team? You know what I mean? I don't know what this team is. They run the football in the first half. Okay, that's fine. They tried to run. It didn't work. But on second down, Trey Ford, every throw is behind the sticks. You got to get first down, or like you're throwing 3 yards to Dunbar to punt is you might as well chuck it deep. Like what is going on? The run game didn't work, but there's so much like this stupid name thing. I'm so sick of it. Like the ownership. It's such a distraction. It's such a distraction. Just you're the Elks, okay? For the rest of the season, anyways, you are the Elks. Stop with this. Oh, we want the history, and so we're gonna call ourselves the Double E. Like every week, it's a distraction. You know what I mean? Like it's just another like the focus on the field. They have a good coach. I like this coach. It's the one thing I took away from the game against Montreal is, and even the first game is that Mark Killam was the right hire. You know, the special teams play he drew up, like you could see him on the sideline drawing up that the first onside kick didn't work, but I still like it. I mean, you're down big, you had to try something. Yeah, it was not a bad idea. But the second one, you see him on the board, all the guys around him on the board. He's like, "This is what we're gonna do," and it worked perfectly. You know what I mean? Yeah, they executed. The penalties. They had the least amount of penalties in the league. Another sign of good coaching. I saw that in your post today.
Yes.
Yeah. So, you know, I think the improvements will come. But, I mean, like they're not there yet. This is a tall order. Now, it's not hopeless because on the other side, Winnipeg's on a 5-day week with an old quarterback. And the one thing I know about short weeks from watching the NFL is that these old quarterbacks, they're the ones who really feel it on these short weeks. And Caleros is 39, 38. He's up there. You know, he was there. There was consideration he was going to retire after this season.
Man. He's 30.
Oh, he's 36. Oh, okay. I thought he was older.
He's me.
Maybe I'm thinking of Bo's like 39.
Yeah, Bo is 30.
Yeah. Bo is okay. I mixed them up.
Harris,
Harris is 39 too. Okay, so Caleros is a little bit of a spring chicken compared to those guys, but not much. He's still 36. It's an older quarterback on a short week. It's not traditionally what you want back, but I'm not laying 10.5 with Winnipeg. No, this smells like a backdoor. Like this smells like the Elks are going to screw everybody's ticket in the fourth quarter when Mark Killam draws up some special teams play and for a kicker. Remember, yeah, exactly. They lose by 10 or 9, right? If you got hopefully you got the early number if you bet Winnipeg because it's been one-way traffic. Nobody's betting the Elks. I haven't even bet the Elks, which is how you know nobody's betting the Elks. Now, in terms of the total, you can't bet an over with Edmonton right now. Their offense stinks, but they kind of came alive in the fourth quarter. And the last 3-4 times these teams have met, it's been nothing but points. Winnipeg's put up like 50 points.
Yeah,
I don't know if they're going to do that here though.
Winnipeg specific, this team is Winnipeg has just demolished Edmonton since the pandemic. So, it's been around.
Yeah, like honestly, like if you like Edmonton, just bet the money line. Like you might as well gamble.
Take the rest.
Because there's a chance Winnipeg it doesn't have it on a short week, and Edmonton can front run. We've seen that last year. They can front run. I don't think it's going to happen. But I don't. I'm maybe like 10.5's a lot. I can only bet Edmonton, but I'm going to stay off. All my friends were like, "Oh, you're going to do it. They're going to suck you back in." I think not this week. This is a pass.
Wait.
Oh, hold on.
What about first half?
So the first half under was my lean in this game, but I'm just worried because it kind of feels like it's a bad spot for Winnipeg, and I think they're going to try to shorten the game. But even if they do that, like Peterson or whoever could just get loose. Yeah, because this is the Elks. Yeah. They make mistakes, right? They're not bad, but they make so many mistakes. And Trey Ford. Yeah, and Trey Ford, like the problem is how many minutes is Winnipeg going to have the ball in the first half? Because Trey Ford, if he continues to throw behind the line of scrimmage, Winnipeg's going to have the ball for like 20, 25 minutes in the first half. Yeah. And they might get the over by themselves. Like, that's the problem here. If Edmonton could run the ball, like if I knew Edmonton could run the ball, yeah, I'd bet the first half under because we know they're going to kick like 2 field goals and that's going to be it.
Question for you.
Yeah.
On Trey Ford. Like, I know, he had the biggest hype for the last 2 seasons. Oh, play the kid. He's not really much a kid anymore. He has roughly 3 years of experience behind this team. He's now finally the guy. But at what point do we actually start questioning if he is actually the guy? I mean, they did grab Cody as a backup. I know it was to offload Bethel Thompson because that guy.
Yeah, he's cancer.
And he's cancer. And then they brought in Cody who can mentor Ford. But Ford's style, I just don't know if he's a quarterback for Edmonton. I don't know if it just works for the team he's with.
I think you just play him the whole season. I mean, you just play him like you're not
see what anywhere. He is, and that's it.
If Fajardo comes in here, we forgot to mention the center is very, very good. Is out. Beard is out for the Elks.
I think 6
weeks at least. Yeah. 6 at least. Now there's injuries on the Winnipeg side, obviously. You know what I mean? Like I said, there's older guys, Jefferson, Kolaros. It's an old team. You know, the short weeks on those older bones. Oh God, I'm gonna talk myself into betting 10 and a half.
No, you're not.
Here, no, stay off. Just don't bet this game, please. If you want to bet Winnipeg, be my guest. I'm telling you, it's like when Winnipeg takes their foot off the gas in the fourth quarter, and Edmonton backdoors you, but doesn't come anywhere close to winning the game, you're gonna be so mad because I smell it. This is exact sort of game where something like that could happen.
They lose 30-21.
Well, look, it was 28-6. It was 28-6 in the Montreal game, and it ended 38-28. You know what I mean? Edmonton's the kind of team they don't like at this point in the season, they don't give a shit about the score. You know, they're gonna play hard every down. That's right. You know, I don't think they're not gonna pack it in. So the 10.5 is a big number. I don't Winnipeg's killed them, but it's a horrible spot. So it's a pass. Like Edmonton right now, I want to see a little bit more. I like the coach. I don't like the kicker, but other than that, I like the special teams. The receivers need to gel more with Ford. Ford's gonna just stop. Just who cares what the score? Like he's got to play like the fourth quarter. He's got to just throw it. Play like it's the fourth quarter and he's down 21 because that's when he plays great. You know what I mean? Like I know Montreal went on prevent defense, especially with McLeod in there.
Yeah, they Montreal completely changed their whole regimen that last quarter, right? It was just maintain lead, and they had a buffer of 20 plus points.
Exactly. I know. That's what they did.
The same.
I know. You can't be you can't be dumping off these 3 yard. That's the worst thing you could do because you give yourself no chance. At least you throw up a prairie of a chance. You know, if they catch it, it's basically an arm punt. You know, the old Flacco arm punt. Like try to okay, you get stuffed on first down, but don't dump it off for 3 yards. I know sometimes that's the right thing to do, but you have to understand the game. You know what I mean? Like this is a team who if the game feels slow, you know, okay, you can we're gonna punt to live another day, right? But at some point you got to try to when the other team takes the lead, even if it's only 7, Edmonton, I don't know, they can play from behind, but I feel like if they got a lead is where they could really. You know, I know they got a lead against BC, but it was 4 points. But if they got a nice lead, like a 7-10 point lead, I feel like then they could really put teams away. But yeah, you can't be thrown behind the line of scrimmage. You're just gonna lose slowly. It's demoralizing.
This is a game you just watch with your bet app open.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Is that
Like
one of
in
those?
the fourth quarter, I'll probably bet like Edmonton plus 21.5 or something when they're down big, because they're gonna score
Yeah.
two garbage time touchdowns. Trey Ford's got this miraculous, but where was that all game? Well, he
Yeah.
was too, they were, he was dumping it off.
He's
Another
too
thing with Trey
concerned, yeah.
Ford, his third and fourth reads he's having trouble with. I know they're
Really bad.
it's a work in progress in Edmonton. They're probably not going to win this game, but again, there was improvement last week, I thought, especially on special teams as the game went along. When Montreal, kind of took their foot off the gas, but they were able to move the football. So maybe they can build a little bit on that, start to move the football in the first half. But just like I don't know if he's scared. I don't know if he's not making his reads. It's hard to tell. But the first half, what really stood out was those 3-yard throws when you need 6. You know what I mean? Like you might as well punt on second down if you're going to do that.
Yeah, and I think that let's also be fair here to Edmonton. It was not an easy start to this season. You had the Big Lions home opener, then you had Montreal that looked super motivated after the first 2 weeks, and now you got Winnipeg that also looks fairly indestructible, probably at the top of people's power rankings, maybe second, and if Montreal still maintains the first spot. And then you got the Red Blacks next week, so there might be. Yeah, so you got some opportunities. I think this game is still another learning game. It's Mark Killiam looking at this and going, here's another tough opponent. Let's learn what's good, what's easy, what works for us, what doesn't work for us, what we need to work on. But yeah, like I said, I think this game you have your betting app open and you play when they're playing. Now, another game that's coming up.
One more thing on the Elks before so they get 10 days now after this before they play Ottawa. So maybe if we see some improvement this game, you get 10 more days to prepare for the Red Blacks, and that's the team that, especially if Brown is still banged up a bit, that's a beatable opponent.
Yeah,
and it won't be June anymore, so that's good news for the Elks.
That's true. June does not work for Edmonton. Yeah, that's right. It throws me off because they're doing the whole Canada Day weekend this weekend with CFL, and I know Canada Day is actually on Tuesday, so it's throwing me off that you're doing all these celebrations at the end of June. It is what it is. Schedulers.
Why didn't they just have the game on Tuesday?
I don't know. I honestly don't know why CFL doesn't have Canada Day games. They can easily support it. And people would come out to these things 100%.
You have a team on bye every week. Sure. You have one team on the bye, and the other team plays next Sunday or something.
Yeah, it would have worked. Yeah. You didn't. That being said, it is the first weekend where we have Sunday games again, at least for all summer long. So
finally,
one game a week, one game a day. So yes, guess what? We're gonna be able to criticize only one game again every day, heavily the next day on Twitter. Your morning is just gonna be, oh, did you see that game? Blah blah blah. But you're right in that it's a little bit of a CFL family universe on the socials. We only talk to each other. We don't actually talk to people who don't watch this game. But there will be a game on Friday. Hamilton comes off their bye week and gets to face a very interesting Montreal team, one that Davis hasn't practiced all week with. That being said, there is history where Moss still played Davis the day of the game. I think it was last year, where he didn't practice all week, but he still played him the day of, and Davis still came out winner. So I know they haven't announced if Davis is playing or not. The injury reports say he has not practiced. Hamilton is relatively healthy, has rest, and Montreal looked a little tired against Edmonton towards the end. And in particular, looked very worried about a certain guy throwing the ball. And they told him, do not throw the ball. Very specific. Don't throw any deep balls, please. And now we have a game where we could potentially have two of the furthest, two quarterbacks who just love chucking this ball deep, in Bo and Bethel Thompson. What are your takes on this one as a Ticats fan?
Well, I wish Stubblefield was back. It looked like he had a chance. That he's not playing again. He's soon in the next 2 weeks. We'll see the Ticat debut of Reggie Stubblefield, because we need some support back there. Constantonis is making good interceptions. I think maybe he'll have one in this game, especially if Mr. Thompson is starting. But we have the Ticats 0-2 coming off the bye. They were much better, much cleaner in that second game. They got kind of all the early season bugaboos out of the way week one with the nonsense that happened against the Stampeders. They're 2-0 to the over. I might go back to the well. I haven't bet it just as yet, but now that I'm listening to you and kind of seeing how these teams match up, I could see this game going over the top. Now, historically, Ticat Alouettes games have been unders in recent years, but the Ticats are not an under team. Not this. Greg Bell is out, but running backs don't matter. That doesn't.
He's out.
Yeah,
it looks like Montreal's main guy is out too, and Sean Thomas Erlington.
But they're Tice Erlington, Stevie Scott. They're all interchangeable. Greg Bell matters a little bit more. Yeah, a little bit more than the other three for Montreal, because we've seen the interchange. Whereas Hamilton really does rely, but the run game hasn't worked for Hamilton really. So maybe a fresh legs. I don't know if Lee Trey will be in, but I don't know if he's going to play the main running back. I have to look to see who the backup is. I actually didn't get a peek because I don't think this is one of the roster.
Yeah, not one with experience, anyways.
yeah. So, but I mean, who's the guy who got cut? Kevin Brown's been signed. There was one. Who's the guy in Montreal got signed too?
Fletcher.
Fletcher. Oh yeah, maybe they signed him.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a running back. I mean, you don't you need to know whether to go left or right, but it kind of matters.
And he would know Montreal's playbook to an extent.
Yeah, it'd be tough to integrate. They're probably just going to go with the backup, whoever it is. Lee Trail probably get some run, but yeah, I don't know if they're going to run too much anyways in this matchup. You can beat Montreal through the year. Sometimes they can cheat. And Bo is gonna, he's gonna make Montreal makes you nickel and dime down the field, and Bo's happy to do that. He loves 7-yard passes forever.
It's his see, that's the thing with Montreal. When you saw them line up against Edmonton, they were either deep coverage or short coverage. They never covered that middle, and I think Bo loves those posts. And he's got Lawler, he's got White, who can easily interchange in those roles. So and even Wolotarski can even jump into that spot. So
Hamilton's got receivers, but
they got options. They got options. The thing here, I think it's going to be a lot of. I think it's going to be a coach's game, a lot of management, play-by-play kind of thing, and then just gutsy. My gut here is. Jason Moss wants to play Davis, and I think he's going to play him if he can, but it's a hamstring injury. So if he hasn't practiced, it's because it's still very tight or maybe even slightly torn.
Well, they're 3-0. The only other East team with a win is Ottawa.
They could take the loss if they want.
Even if Hamilton wins this game, they're 1-2. You're not in grave, and it's a road game. I don't know if he's going to play. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think it's going to be. I mean, you have Bethel Thompson. You have the vet. That's why the vet's there.
I
it could be easily. I don't want to. It could be easily 400 yards for both quarterbacks tomorrow or Friday. Two 400 passing yard games. So hey, Luke, I know you were upset with all the quarterback sneaks in the Toronto Saskatchewan game. Watch this one on Friday. Actually, it's Friday, so you're probably in Hamilton.
Oh, there won't be very many
during the
quarterback
game.
sneaks in this game.
This game
No.
will be just an airball game, so you can enjoy that one to its hard extent because it's just going to be one and fucking 20 every time if they can. But for me, this game, I think if you're Hamilton, you could circle this game and you go, okay, we're at a point where likely Chad Kelly comes to Toronto and plays the next Hamilton game the week after. You need a win here. You need a win here because you're probably going to be in your best position to beat Toronto at BMO next week.
Yeah, it'll be 2-2.
So you get your 2-2. You need the win here because Toronto, after that game against Saskatchewan, and getting reamed out, is going to go all gas against Ottawa. All gas.
You think so? Right? Is that what you've been hearing? We'll talk about that later.
Yeah,
I wanted to get your opinion on that.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking if I'm in Hamilton's shoes, Montreal is in this weird position where Mac is questionable, probably won't play. Also hamstring there. Alexander, they have the opportunity not to play him. Why play him if you're gonna injure him further? So this is the game Montreal probably circles and goes, take an extra. If we have to lose one, we lose this one. And I think if you're Hamilton, you're in an East Division where second place is probably going to be an 8-9 win season at this point. You take it.
Well, we'll see. It's still early to Ottawa has a win. But they could get a little bit of a roll here. It's possible.
That's true. That's true. Injuries
Toronto people. The narrative online is Toronto's going to come back and do 500. I'm not so sure about that anymore. But we'll talk about that in a bit. The big thing here is I bet the Ticats at plus 3.5.
I like that.
Now that it's the I talked about this last week. The 0-2 team at home. You need in the NFL. This is the traditional sharps, but this will be a sharp square divide game for sure. The sharps will be on Hamilton, and the Joes will be on Montreal. I've talked to everybody. Cowboy Keith's on Montreal. He is like the biggest square better around. The guy at work who bet CFL. Oh, Montreal 2.5. What is this? You know what I mean? Okay. This is the sharp square divide game for sure because it's the 0-2 team at home, and then you have Montreal's 3-0, banged up quarterback, banged up. Okay, the receivers they have lots, so Mac's not that big of a deal, but it's still they have an injury. And then you have this is their third straight road game.
That's right.
For Montreal.
Oh my goodness.
Third straight road game, which is it's a bad spot. This is a Ticat spot, and you're getting over a field goal. Even if Montreal, manages to overcome injuries and these odds, you can still Montreal can still win by 3, and you cash your bet. This is too good of a spot for me not to hold on. I gotta plug in my laptop for a second here.
It's too good. Yeah, no, 100% too good of a spot to drop. Once you're back, I do want to get your opinion on if you're gonna tease the money line. But it's 3 games on the road. I personally have gone on Pick'em with Hamilton. I think Montreal's due for a loss earlier this season than they were last season. Hey, if they beat Hamilton, kudos to them. And then they get a BC team at home the week after. But I think Montreal's one of those teams that's just like counting the days down to their bye, take a little bit of a prolonged break. But I want to know, are you teasing the Hamilton money line too?
Yeah, I'll probably put a little bit. I like now it's 3.5. I don't need to. That's enough points worth. I think I like minus 105 at like Sports Interaction earlier, but it's a pretty good number. I don't know if I need to bet the money. I might just add some more on the spread if I really feel like it. In terms of the over, it's going to be raining. in Hamilton, likely.
Yeah.
Showers. It won't be too bad. I'm not too concerned about Bo, but if it's MBT, I mean, the way Hamilton's defense, like Costatonis, I think is going to pick him off. And if Bo can, hold, not throw that pick six, which he's known for, I think we'll be okay. Because I think if one pick each, or I could see, and MBT is the guy who can rattle. You know what I mean? Like, Hamilton's coming off their bye. Yeah, Montreal's got the better coaching staff, but I mean, this is tough to ask. In my opinion, you had at Ottawa, then you go to Edmonton, and now you're going to Hamilton. I mean, it's I know Hamilton and Ottawa is not that big, but Hamilton's is still a pretty decent trip. And then obviously Edmonton's a long one there.
Well, I mean, not being able to see your locker room, for a while is a problem.
And I think it's three road games in. So they played Saturday, so that's what, like 12 days. 3 road games in 12 days.
Under
now.
2 weeks.
It's a spot play for him. It's not a homework. This is a spot play. This is a 3.5 with the 0-2 team who needs to win at home against a team who's 3-0, doesn't need the win. Two games ahead in the East. 3rd straight road game. Quarterback with a bad hammy. If Hamilton comes out with a big lead here, I don't know if Montreal is going to be, pushing 2 guys. They might just look to get out of here without anybody else get hurt, go home, play BC, and continue their season there.
Yeah, I agree. Speaking about BC, they got the Saturday game this week. They're trekking into tornado warning Saskatchewan. At least they have a warning. This
tornado warning.
Yeah, they got a couple of tornado warnings in the middle of the province for the next day or so. I mean, think about it. It's the hot front and the cold front hitting each other right there through the province. So hopefully everyone is safe there. It shouldn't impact attendance too much. It looks like Saskatchewan's on their way to also a sellout at Mosaic. I believe they have maybe 2,000 so tickets left to sell. They bring in the Canadian kid if he plays. We'll see. But the story here is quarterbacks and what matchup do we have? Because it's not decided yet. We know what the certains that we have is Harris hasn't practiced yet. I believe he's not playing. He's
not playing. He has a head injury. He's 39. He's not playing. They're 3-0. He's not playing.
And then the other bigger question is Masoli still taking the majority of first team snaps, but Rourke seems to be ramping up day by day. So the question for me is, do you start Rourke versus Jake Mayer, if that's going to be the battle, or do you, knowing that you got Mayer and knowing that the Rough Riders are also a little banged up and a little discipline challenged, at least based on last game, do you just give Rourke the extra week of rest and then you go and play Masoli this game, who, to be fair, didn't have the worst game against Winnipeg, but just frankly not the firepower you're going to need against Winnipeg. And I don't think Rourke would have changed the outcome there. It may have been a little bit closer. But in this game, are you siding with a certain quarterback? Is the quarterback making decisions for you in terms of your betting lines here?
I mean, I'll tell you right now, if I bet BC at 4.5, I bet it for the show. It was 5.5. 5.5 to 4.5 usually doesn't matter. The CFL matters more than the NFL because of the Rouges, because of the points there. And the more special teams, you can have weird stuff, safeties, intentional safeties, stuff like that.
Game-winning kickoff return TD.
Yeah, exactly. But I wish there was, I wish it was Rourke and Harris. I would be much, much more comfortable if Nathan Rourke was on the field in this game. I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be. I don't. It's probably Masoli. I kind of like this Bryce kid. I wish they would try him. I think he might be better than Masoli. Wasn't any good last week, but I don't know if he needs to be, because I'll tell you right now that defense has looked pretty good 2 out of the 3 games. They shut down the Elks in week 1. Now I know Winnipeg did, or not Winnipeg. Montreal did that too, but they were able to score late. They didn't really score late against BC. There was some flukiness. I know we mentioned missed kicks, and there was a kick return that got taken back a penalty. But I was really impressed with the Winnipeg defense last week. I thought they played very, very well against Claws. I thought the Winnipeg defense scored against. So they only allowed 20 points to Winnipeg.
Yeah, it wasn't a crazy game.
Touchdown.
Very close. Yeah. Very close.
Yeah. So I think this BC defense might be pretty good. Now, the offensive line is still a concern, obviously. We know about that. And this is a bad matchup going up against Saskatchewan's defensive line, they had like 9 rotational guys last week, which is absurd. Start more O-linemen, please. I mean, if there's one thing that criticize CFL for, that I would agree. Yeah, I know we don't have. That's the problem. We don't have offensive linemen. It has nothing to do with rules or whatever. We just don't have offensive linemen. That's the big problem with the CFL, in my opinion. We need better O-line play. But when we're going, I'm not sold on Saskatchewan. Last week, I was like, oh, this is a free low-hanging fruit. It was like, come on, like the Argos stink. And I was wrong. Now, they should have won by more. But we have Corey Mays playing this soft zone defense, picked apart by Nick Arbuckle and the Toronto Argonauts with Brissett. And the Toronto Argonauts, who, if you listen to Dinwiddie after the game, weren't playing well. You know what I mean? Like, they still tied the game late. Like, that's a massive red flag. We saw Hamilton get the offense going against them. Yeah. We saw Ottawa was able to score against them in the second half. I mean, this defense looks bad. And I think even Masoli might be able to pick them apart. If it's Rourke, it's gravy. And that's why I bet it out. And now that Trevor Harris isn't playing, I don't trust Jake Mayer. Jake Mayer, listen. So I'm going to take you back to last year. Jake Mayer against the BC Lions with Rourke. Rourke stunk in this game. He was awful. Okay, now it wasn't. He was coming back with the team. It was
BC game. Yeah,
the Calgary BC game, right? It was the Calgary defense played a great game, which Saskatchewan defense could play here, right? And Jake Mayer fumbles the ball on a lateral, and BC's defense scores. You know what I mean? And BC ends up running away with that game on the back of their defense. And that's what I'm going to say. I'm taking 4.5, and I'm betting on BC's defense to be the best unit on the field in this game, because I think Jake Mayer is going to make mistakes. He's going to throw interceptions. If it's Harrison, I get bit, whatever. But we got to bet something here. I mean, every game has, except for the first one, which I can't touch with the 10-foot pole either side. Yeah. It has quarterback question marks. So, I'm making a little bit of a gamble here. But I think that the best unit on the field is going to be BC's defense. You're getting 4.5. I think the Saskatchewan defense is right now is being poorly schemed. And their offense hasn't even been that good, except against the red-black secondary, which we know was, butter. Yeah. I know that they were better last week, but that was rain and assisted, and they got a new safety in there. Gloves, looked pretty good. Yeah.
I'll
and
say
Lothar's missing kicks, and that could come into play here.
Yes.
That's two in a row now.
And Mace continues to stay. This is the guy. But listen, the confidence he's having this season is worse than that game he had last year. This is becoming a regular event with this guy. I don't know if you can count on him. I mean, listen, I know BMO isn't the greatest place to kick at, but you have Liram, who kicks ass there. You have Haggerty, who knows how to punt the ball there. You can, if you learn how to kick, you should be fine. For me, I like the line. I think 4.5. I snagged it early at 5.5 when Harris was still deciding.
Yeah, that was a good call. Yeah, I didn't realize Harris was hurt, but then I'm listening to how he got popped.
Yeah, it was It was like they were. I guess the hit was a lot harder than people imagined. It was. Listen, the game was terrible in the sense of of safety. People were just getting hurt left, right, and center, and the
Well, it
penalties
was
showed it.
retaliation. It was
Exactly.
retaliation. I mean, they
Exactly.
they chop blocked the defensive player, and
Yeah.
you're gonna get your quarterback killed. You can't be doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
There
yeah.
was a little bit of vendetta. You could even see it in the sense of being in the stands at BMO. Obviously Argo fans and Rider fans get along, but in terms of on the field, you could see the tension on players. I was watching the benches and the moods. Both teams really wanted to win. Obviously, Argos are tired of getting the L. They're Grey Cup champs, and then the Riders were just like, "This is we're the big boys now. We're supposed to be top of the CFL as they are in the West." But let's be honest, you beat Ottawa, you beat Hamilton, you beat Toronto.
Well,
You've done the
and
East.
it's when you beat these teams. Okay, Ottawa.
Exactly. You beat them
Okay,
early
Ottawa
and you
was
beat
full
them hurt.
strength, but the secondary was horrid in that game. I mean, Trevor Harris do whatever they wanted. He could have a sandwich back there. It was bad. Like that. I don't know what the secondary was so bad in that first week. Now it's a little bit different. And then you had and Ottawa only won that one game where we'll talk about in a minute. Like I mean, it was a little bit of a fluke that they beat Calgary there. And then you beat Toronto, who's been awful, who's looked like the worst team, I guess, besides Edmonton. And then you beat Hamilton early in the season, where they tend to be slow starters. Yeah. So one win between the three.
And I get it. You got the 2 wins in Ontario. You won away from your house. Great. You're heading into a bye week after this game.
Before the bye, that can be positive.
It's they could play a little extra hard, just because they got the extra break, the piece. But even if they win the game, I don't think they win it with another, touchdown win. It could be a kick that gets them the win. I do think this will be a close one, especially if Rourke plays. If Rourke plays, this line probably goes to 2.5.
If Rourke plays and Harris doesn't, it's probably pick. It might even be a BC favorite. Like that's
swap.
That's significant. Yeah, it's. I mean, I know. Okay, it's Saskatchewan home. But it'd probably be it'd be like close to pick. Maybe Saskatchewan -1.
Well, let's just put it this way. It's what do you have to lose at +4 and 5, +4-5 here with
if Harris plays, what's it going to go back to 5.5? You know what I mean? Like
big whoop, right? It's a point.
If it goes to 7, I'll bet it again. But
exactly. So I think it's right. It's the right play. We'll see what we do there. Let's jump to the last.
I just don't like this coaching from Saskatchewan.
It's very
why would you instigate a team who's already pissed off? And I get it. Toronto shouldn't have gone after Harris and shouldn't have hit him in the head. I understand that, but there was no need to take out a defensive player like that. You know what I mean? Like, it was a stupid play. You're winning that game, right? It was just dumb. I get Mace as a motivator, but I think this team they got how many penalties? They had almost 200 penalties in that game. And if this is going to be if this is going to be a tight affair here, the penalty yards are going to matter here, and I could kind of see this being a tight affair if we have 2 backups in there.
Yeah, I'll say this: if they give up almost 200 yards to BC, they lose this game. The only reason that game, they let Barb up. Half the trek down the field was BC giving up 40 yards in a drive on penalties.
Some of those penalties were hogwash, but
it was tough. It was
still just that the game was wild.
I get why the officiating was that way. They're just trying to diffuse. So if you hand out more, maybe.
Oh, they made it worse. They made it worse. So much worse.
Just made it worse.
No, you're just handing out penalties for anything. I might as well nail the guy in the head. Then you know what I mean?
100%. They just doubled down.
I don't know why they just didn't throw. They should have just thrown the running back out. Right? Who cares? You have another one. And if the Toronto guy takes a shot right at the head, throw him out too. Right? And then one from each, and you're good. and you play on it.
You're good. All right, so we'll go BC 4.5 there. Let's talk about the Sunday game, first Sunday game of the CFL season. We get to go to the lovely nation capital, Ottawa, Lansdowne Stadium. Or sorry, TD Place. That's what it's called. Lansdowne Grounds was the old one. It was the old grounds. I gotta get politically correct, right? We got Toronto versus Ottawa. I don't know how much to say about that post-game interview with Dinwiddie. Man was fired up. Man was ready to fire somebody on the spot, if not one, maybe multiple people. He was dropping like he is. I don't know if anyone got laid off that the next day, but and probably not because of all the injuries. They probably can't afford to lay him off. But nothing went right for Dinwiddie last Friday. Safe to say he had these guys running laps all week. Now that they've had a full day of practice, again, we're kind of in the same boat. Okay, great. We get Daniels back. But still the same guys pretty much out. Kelly is still limited. Even in post game, he said he's not sure if he's gonna touch Kelly yet. It really, to me, I don't know if they're still desperate for the win. It's only Ottawa with the one win. So if they and they came close enough to robbing a win from the Rough Riders when it was almost a scheduled loss at this point. I don't think they're going to have McManus back. They have nobody who can run the ball. They get Haba back if they want to play him. They signed a couple of other big boys. They signed one of the heaviest guys from last year on Edmonton. I can't remember his name, Kelly something. He's like 350 pounds, defensive lineman.
Oh, I saw that. Yes. I can't remember. He's kind of a big boy, big boy.
Yeah. His most famous thing is being on social media, showing his ass crack on a live social media thing.
Lovely. This is the guys they're signing, is it? Oh,
this desperate times, man. Desperate times. Okay.
Next week, Hamilton best bet. Nothing.
Listen, I'll be. You coming with me next week?
Yeah, I think I'm coming.
All right, good. Well, we could both joke about who's gonna win that one, but I don't think Toronto is super desperate to throw out Kelly yet. I do think his debut will be next week against Hamilton. I think they try to steal one here in Ottawa. I think Ottawa can thank the moon and the weather patterns last week, limiting Adams from doing anything, pretty much forcing everyone to run a ball. That's not
definitely favored the Red Blacks 100%, that weather.
Yeah.
Covering up the weakness of the team, the secondary. You can't throw the ball. It's slippery as hell. They couldn't throw it deep. And Ottawa got to keep everything in front of them. They can run the ball. They had a running quarterback. It was fantastic. It was exactly what they needed.
It worked out exactly.
It worked out perfectly.
And
they didn't take too many penalties. 4 penalties by the Red Blacks. 4. I was shocked when I saw that. I was like, oh my God.
No dice special in Calgary. Yeah. Now you got Toronto here who's ready to retaliate, maybe yet again. And Ottawa's going to instigate because that's what they do. We'll see if this one breaks records with most penalties awarded. This is officiating.
Maybe Ottawa's due for now.
We'll see what happens here. But I think the biggest question isn't if Kelly's playing, but if Drew Brown is playing.
Yeah, that is the biggest question.
We don't know yet. He's still limited. I can't believe that one. Like, I get it. Like, Saskatchewan sacked the guy like 3-4 times and hit him hard. Like, still to be out with a hip injury. How bad were you hurt that game?
He was limping. No, but the problem was, so they're down like 20. Bob Dyke should have pulled him right away when he saw him limping. He stayed in the game. It was ridiculous. The game was over. Get your guy out of there. That's your whole team. Like, I get it. They won without him with rain assistance. Well, I mean, if Crum's going to win a game, it's going to be a bullshit weather game like that. That was ridiculous. Like Bob Dice, that rain bailed him out. He could be in the hot seat right now, going to be ready to be fired after if they lose this game.
Oh, if they lose this one,
but he got away with one.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think if they listen, Ottawa could be 2-2 after this game. They could almost erase the garbage start that they had.
Exactly.
Just like that, and based on just luck of the draw, you have an injured Toronto. Everyone wanted to face Toronto early,
and look who they get next week. Look who they get. You having issues? Oh, here come the Elks to solve all your issues.
You can fix. Here's a team you can fix. So yeah, of course they're looking at this schedule and going, okay, we win one here in Toronto, we could be 3-2 at the end of next week. Ideally, in best case scenario, if you're a Red Blacks fan, you kind of anything you were worried about, and if in any world where you said, hey, I won 2 games without Drew Brown, you're in a good spot. You're in a good spot as a Red Blacks fan, because if you get Drew Brown next week ready to go against the Elks, which I think that's the plan. I think they're going to try to run this with Crum. Sucks that Schultz kind of had the one and done against Montreal.
He's no good.
Listen,
he got replaced by Taylor Powell. That's how you know he's no good.
Yeah. At one point when you just know when your time is done in this league, and I think his time is done. If I'm Ottawa, I'm probably dropping Schultz and looking at picking up a Shea Patterson or something like that. But here you go.
That guy's no good either. But he might be better than Schultz.
Yeah. Well, you need someone.
He's a little younger, so he's got maybe a little bit more growing.
Yeah. Well, the thing with Crum is like he has to play every rep, right? Because he's the short guy too.
Yeah.
So he plays everything and does
the whole game.
This guy gets tapped one time. I mean, I don't know. Does Toronto chase him? I don't know. I'm looking at this line here.
He's a durable guy. He's a durable guy.
I'm looking at this line, and okay, if Drew Brown gets called, obviously it's an Ottawa bet for me. I don't think Kelly's getting the call. I'd be shocked if Dinwiddie puts Kelly out there, especially with all the guys hurt in front of him. He's not going to put a guy off injury in front of no team without the proper guys protecting him. I still think I know the number is at -145. I think this game is Ottawa's to lose. Everything for Toronto to gain, but I don't think Toronto is circling this game. I think they are circling next Friday.
I think, in my opinion, if the Argos lose this game, they will. I don't know. If they lose this game, I think it's done. I think that you have to win this game. Your coach absolutely ripped you to fucking shreds. Okay, if you show up and lose to Dustin Crum and this hogwash secondary, right? Or at least okay, if you lose to Drew Brown and he beats you, you know what I mean, and then Ottawa's just better, but you put in a good effort, okay, But if you come into this game and look like shit again, and Ottawa kicks your ass, you can kiss your season goodbye. Hamilton's going to rip you a new one next week too. This is the response game. You got absolutely called out by your coach. It was so bad the Argos took the video down.
Yeah,
the Argos took the video down.
The coach was so bad.
Pussies in the locker room because the coach is right. Dinwiddie's right. These guys suck out there, okay? And it's not his fault. He's doing what he can, okay? Nick Arbuckle's doing what he can. The offensive lineman out there, you're supposed to be this elite offensive line. You suck right now, okay? Dinwiddie's right. Don't go be crying a pinball. Oh, you got to take the video down. Yeah, play better. Play fucking better. That's exactly what you should. This is a joke. You won the Grey Cup 2 last year. You could put out that performance against who was it week 1? Montreal. Was it Montreal week 1?
Yeah, it was Montreal week 1.
Montreal week, but that performance, garbage. You go to the week 2, you lose to this fucking Stampeders at home in a blowout. You're shit. And then last week, Saskatchewan tries to give you the game time and time again. They don't want the game. And what do? Fucking 11 men on the field for Mario to score with bail them out. You know, I could cash your best bet. Great for us. But I get it. This team is a joke right now. And the coach is right to call him out. And whoever those pussies are who took the video down, it's ridiculous. Your coach can't call you out. That's exactly what he should be doing. The way this effort, especially that offensive line, has been awful. Just horrid. I know Saskatchewan had 9 guys, okay? I know you have a backup quarterback, but you won the Grey Cup with the backup quarterback. It's just awful. I'm betting the Argos money line. If it doesn't, I might wait. I haven't bet it yet. I don't really want to bet it if it's Drew Brown because he could cook them regardless of how they play. But this is a rally the troops if I've ever seen one. I mean, you have to win this game. You go 0-4, and Ottawa go 2-2. You kiss the playoffs goodbye.
Done.
You can because Ottawa's going to win next week probably if they win this week. I don't know if the Elks. Yeah, like I said, they have a chance, but it's just my goodness. I mean, if they put out because if they don't show up this week, that means they quit on the coach. Because he reamed your ass out. And if you don't give a shit, if you're going to go above his head to take that video down, you're responsible. If I'm video, I quit next week. Fucking, and then you'll in 3 or 4 weeks when Bob Dice fucks up again, you'll be the coach of the Red Blacks. And then, you know what I mean? Or whatever, whatever they decide to get rid of Bob Dice, you can go be the coach of a team who gives a shit. Because this Toronto team is a joke right now. If they don't show up for this game. So I'm betting the Toronto money line. And if it loses, I'll go by Hamilton for 2 units next week because they're going to push their shit in because they have, as much as they fuck up and do dumb things, they have bullied by Mitchell there. They're going to play hard. You know what I mean? I've had enough of this crybaby team 3 weeks in a row. They're absolutely sickening. You're supposed to be the Grey Cup champs. And that Calgary showing was awful. Coach calls you take the video down. You're a bunch of crybabies. Give me a break. But and I got to bet on them.
And I'm not the Argo fan. I'm the Argo fan, and you're defending them a lot better than I did. Listen, I agree with everything you say. I just don't know if these players can do it.
They can do it against Dustin Crum and Ottawa. You can beat these guys. You have to win. The season's done. If you're 2-2, right? If Ottawa's two games up on you, right? You're done. When they have the one win head to head, you know what I mean? Like that's a tall mountain. You're not gonna. There's no free wins. Okay, maybe you could say Edmonton, but you're gonna play Edmonton later in the season, right? Yeah, you haven't beat Hamilton in over a year. Right? Yeah. There's no free wins in this league. You can't go 0-4 here. If you let Ottawa get their mojo back, you're done. You're cooked. Ottawa's going to the playoffs and you're not. As far as I'm concerned, this is an absolute must-win rally the troops spot. And if the Argos don't show up this week, they ain't showing up the rest of the season as far as I'm concerned. So, heads roll and somebody because heads should have rolled. But the somebody at the top decided that was a bad idea. So, I don't like that. I think Dinwiddie
MLSC doesn't like the negativity, man. Look at the Leafs. Look at the Leafs.
They are. Oh, yeah, I know the Leafs. But this isn't Mike, the creepy Mike Babcock or the idiot Sheldon Keefe. You know what I mean? This isn't, this is a guy who's won the Grey Cup twice. As much as I criticize him for not being the best leader of it, he was right to call these guys out. I mean, come on. 11 guys on the field. Really? That's a joke.
You don't think that's his fault?
They were the joke on the field. I don't know the CFL. They were the joke on the field Friday night because Saskatchewan wasn't good. They were, they were up still, because they were better. But they gave you every chance in the world to come back, and you just sucked.
They did. They tied the game with 20 seconds.
Yeah, they tied the game. Exactly. You had no business.
We were
no business being in that game at all.
I was in the stands, and I went, you know what? It's fine. We're going.
Yeah, you're too busy. They're too busy trying to hit Trevor Harris in the head instead of trying to win football games.
And then you couldn't stop. You couldn't. And then even then, the penalties that Saskatchewan still made, even within 9 seconds left, they were still within reach of tying it again. But who knows? This, I stayed
I'll bet
around.
there was one more time because I think there's got to be someone in the locker room. But you get rid of Carey, you get rid of all, you get rid of Carey for no reason. You know what I mean?
No
Oh, we got
reason.
Williams is good. That's great. That's fantastic. But now you got it's just
and he's hurt.
Yeah,
then you bring back Kevin Brown from preseason. Nothing.
Oh man, Carey might have not mattered. The guys aren't blocking. The whole line, what did he say? 280 pounds of whatever he said. The dimwit. He's right. He's absolutely right. The line sucks. It's sucked for weeks. He's probably worked with them for 2 weeks to improve it, and they still suck. And then you have 10. The special teams. How do you know? I don't understand. You just tied the game in a intensely emotional game where there was people going down, and you can't even put a 12th guy on the field. Like, come on, now I'll give him one more chance. This is a half unit because I'm not. The more I talk about, the more I probably should bet Ottawa, but I will wait. I will wait. If Drew Brown is out, I will play the Argos on the money line because it's a rally the troops spot, and I haven't, they haven't been called out like this before. So maybe
this is the first spot this year where we have a rally.
Yeah, so this is the rally the troops. They've done this last year where they've I saw them rally the troops. That was with Kelly.
That was.
So if Drew Brown is out, it will be Argos money. If Drew Brown plays, I'll pass. I can't do it. Right? It's just Ottawa could just beat them. Yeah. Ottawa with Drew Brown is good.
With Toronto still doing their best, but just Ottawa being better.
And I like Coxie yards. Because Ottawa secondary yards.
Coxie's one of the few guys that's still
he's showing up every week. He tries. The other guys, I don't know, but he's there every week, putting in an honest effort. So Coxie over yards. He's got to lead the team here, whatever that is. The number I didn't look at it, but
it's probably less than 60. Let's be honest.
But yeah, I mean, Ottawa should win this game. Like you said, on theory, if Dinwiddie doesn't yell at his people, I could see it. But I mean, you absolutely get called out by name by your coach. You better show up because because listen, they took that video down. I don't know why. Okay, I get it. There's not very many good offensive linemen in the CFL.
Comments were not great, man. Dude, it wasn't just Dinwiddie. It was the whole. I know.
Toronto. I know. It's the Argos. Nobody shows up to the games. Who gives a shit about the comments?
People show up. Okay, I'm there.
Okay? I know. Okay. Yeah, Ryder fans were there last week.
It was 50-50 blue green. Granted, and actually, a lot of Rough Rider podcasts were upset that there weren't more in Toronto because they know that they exist. But hey, it is what it is. All right, we have to pick a best bet.
Yeah, there's only two on the board. Yeah,
two. Yeah, potentially two. Two for sure, and then a third potentially. I know which one I think you're leaning towards.
So the Montreal still win the game. This is the problem. Like, Montreal's good. Like it's Hamilton. It's a pure spot play. So I'm gonna take BC. I think BC is the best bet. Plus 4.5. BC plus 4.5. It's the best bet. I'm not taking Hamilton as the best bet because it's a great spot. I understand that, but Montreal's kicked my ass twice. I'm still gonna bet Hamilton, but it's tough. It's a tough week out there. This is gonna be trouble.
Yeah, a lot of people look at this week, and obviously, aside from I think the guaranteed win, which is probably Winnipeg, the next 3 games can be anyone's. It could be anyone. It's all going to be dependent on the field, situations, weather, and who's at the helm. Listen, we went from week 1 having Rourke, having Davis Alexander, having Trevor Harris, all the QBs ready to go. We're at week 4. We're at week 4, and we might have a Masoli versus Mayer matchup. We might have a Arbuckle versus Crum matchup. Uh, like, what are we talking about here? We might even have a Bethel Thompson versus Mitchell contest. Like, do we only have one matchup this weekend that is between two QB1s? I think so. I think
It's
so.
the first one. If Davis Alexander could play, I wouldn't be shocked if he plays.
Yeah.
I'm hoping he doesn't. But
Right,
part of the Hamilton bit is if McLeod plays, like there's 3.5 bad number, my opinion. But yeah. But
It might be
I
right.
can live even if Trevor Harris plays. I think the BC bet's live. I know Masoli's not.
I
Great,
agree. I think the BC is your
I
best bet.
think Saskatchewan has been inflated by these the Argos being nonsensical. Hamilton's defense isn't great, and then Hamilton's offense cooked them a little bit, and then the Red Blacks defense isn't good either. It wasn't good week one. I do like their the safety guy. He did hold on the PI call at the end. It probably should have been PI. Stampeders fans, but I mean. It was cold. It was raining. The refs maybe wanted to go home. It was a 50-50 call. You know what I mean? It's tough. You got it's tough out there. Yeah. But yeah, BC's the best bet. It's not the biggest bet. No, I've been pumping up the best bets because they're 3-0 a little bit, but we're gonna hope the streak stays alive. I'm gonna hope it's Jake Mayer throwing pick sixes and maybe
we'll go from there.
And maybe the 4.5 looks stupid but yeah, I like BC this week. I was looking at the game and even I was talking to Cowboy Keith earlier, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't think Saskatchewan's any good either." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's kind of getting the paper tiger thing."
Yeah, that's right.
So he did bet Montreal, but he's Argos fans.
Listen, I think a lot of people. This number is heavily influenced by the Winnipeg defeats, and
we lost to one team.
BC's a bit better. BC's better than the defeats to Winnipeg. I think you got to give a lot of credit to Winnipeg for making BC look a little worse than they are.
Oh, Winnipeg owns their ass, and we know that. So they're not playing Winnipeg this week. They're playing Scott.
And let's be honest. I get it. BC is a team that thrives on confidence. So if they get a win here, they could easily, take on an Alouettes team that's also might, be a little rough and tough, but then they get the Elks and they host the Rough Riders, then they get a back-to-back with the Ticats. So they could be right back in this season too.
Yeah. I mean, I have the under. I'm not looking, but hopefully, maybe Saskatchewan wins by like 2, and it's fine. That'd be perfect. 2 or 3. And I lean to the under, but the unders haven't been great in this BC game. I do lean to the under, but.
No. I'm not playing unders for a while.
Saskatchewan's 2-0 to the over, or 3-0 to the over, and I don't know how, but they are.
all the totals are over 50
defense. That's how. Masoli could pick apart this defense. This defense is they got to switch it up. Somebody's going to take advantage of the Saskatchewan defense and I want to be on the right side of it. So BC plus 4.5.
I think it's here. All right. Well, with that, man, I think that concludes our show. We're 13 minutes over 1 hour. Hey, who cares? Who's counting? Not me. But let's go. Let's call it here. It's 11:30 Eastern time. We're going with the best bet. We're going to try to go 4-0 here on the season as far as we can. We're betting full units on Montreal, Hamilton, the Hamilton plus 3.5, betting a full unit on BC plus 4.5, and we're playing half a unit on Toronto money line, but only if Drew Brown is not playing. If he's playing, we'll see what the number is.
I'm going to play a full unit if it's not Brown.
Full unit if it's not Brown.
Yeah, I was just happy because I was worried. I was like, I'm just going to wait. If it's Brown, I'm not going to play it. If it's not Brown, I will play the money line. Full unit. 100%. Yeah.
All right. Okay, well, with that, Pieguy, I think we'll call it wraps. We'll enjoy a full weekend of football. Have a great Canada Day, and see you next week when the Ticats come to play. Maybe it's the 1 and 2 Ticats versus the 1 and 2 Argos. That's what I'm hoping for. Oh, sorry, 1 and 3 Argos.
1 and 3.
That's what I'll be hoping for. But if it's the 0 and 4 Argos, maybe I'm just gonna drink my sorrows away. We'll see.
Goodbye.
See ya.